Who wants to change oil with me?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
They're liars. All of them are liars. Okay, so we're getting ready to start our oil change, so let's get our stuff together. So what I got here, this is the kit that I bought off of Amazon. Cost me like 80 bucks. But anyways, it comes with 5.5 quarts of my semi-synthetic, oil. Comes with my Indian oil filter. Also comes with 2 crush washers too. So when I pull that drain plug out, I can put 2 new ones in. I also have my oil filter wrench, my wrench to take the drain plug out. I like having rags. I've got my funnel, and I use a cat litter pan. This little cat litter pan works perfect. It fits great, as you can see underneath the girty. It gets everywhere I need it to go. But yeah, Dollar General cat litter pan. Oh, and I also use my little creeper because I'm fat and lazy and don't like to lay on the cold garage floor. Okay, folks. Well, at this time, the owner's manual said you want to at least let this thing get up to temperature. Let it run about 5 minutes. Okay, you may say, well, Weasel, why do I want to let that motorcycle run for 5 minutes? Man, that oil's going to be hot coming out. They're going to burn my little fingers. Well, remember what we talked about the viscosity. We got to warm this oil up. We want it all to drain, all this dirty oil to drain out of this motorcycle. So that's why it's important to let this bike totally warm up before you drain that oil. Sorry about you. Sorry that it's going to burn your little fingers, but got to do it. Got to do it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little cap thing here, or whatever you want to call it, bottle cap, and I'm going to loosen up the dipstick. Now, I'm not going to take that thing totally off. I'm just going to loosen it up. The reason why I say that is because when I take these little bolts out of here, or the drain plugs, if you want to call them that, if I have let air into it, this oil is going to come rushing out really quick. It's going to come out pretty quick anyways. But I'm going to try to keep this thing sealed up so it'll come out slow so I don't make a big mess out of everything. I'm going to take a T6 on my ratchet. Going to start with the one lowest next to the kickstand. I want the lowest one. Loosen that one up. Now I'm going to pull my drain pan into place and take these babies out. See, it's coming out real slow, but we still got a, steady stream. So I'm going to let this just drain and drain until it finally just gets to the point that she drips. As you can see, this cat litter pan works perfect. I mean, it works perfect. I'm going to take these little crush washers off. They just slide right off. No big deal. Okay, as you can see, it's slowing way down. It's down to just a little bit of a drip. So what I'm going to do is once that kind of comes to a stop, that it's dripping maybe one every, I don't know, minute or so, I'll put the drain plugs back in. And then before I torque them down to 15 foot-pound, I'm going to go ahead and move my drain pan and loosen up my oil filter with my oil filter wrench and take that baby off. Oh, by the way, if I didn't already mention it, use your rag and clean off the surface where those drain plugs go. Really good. Now, as you can see, I've finger tighten these babies in there, I want to make sure that those rings are seated. There's a recessed portion in there. I want to make sure them guys are down all the way in there. Like I said, they're just finger tight. I'm not going to torque them down yet. Okay, so I've got my little makeshift oil wrench on there, and I've got my oil pan directly below my oil filter, so I'm going to get that guy in there, and I want to get a good bite on this thing. And I want to loosen it enough until I can take it off by hand. Okay, so now that we got it so we can take it off by hand, we just slowly turn that thing. As you can see, she's starting to drip a little. I'll make sure she's right over my oil pan. I'm going to put a little inward pressure on it. I'm not going to get it real aggressive. I'm just going to kind of push it in just a little bit and let that oil drain out of that filter. Just draining it out. It's going in the bucket, not on the floor. On your new oil filter, before you put it in, you're going to take a little dab of oil and put it on your finger, and you're going to put it on or around this little O-ring right here. Make sure she's good and shiny. That'll help give this thing a good seal. So on the mating surface where the oil filter goes, I'm going to go through here and I'm going to wipe off this ring where that O-ring from the oil filter, the new one, is going to rest. I'm also going to try to wipe down any residual oil that's on the engine. Last thing I want is anything slopping up and slopping on my exhaust or leaving a spot somewhere. New filter on, and we're going to slowly start rotating this thing clockwise until we feel the threads catching on it. We're going to spin it on all the way down, and then we're going to seat it. Anyways, once you snug the oil filter up, you need to go 3/4 to 1 whole revolution. I usually will mark a spot on there with my thumb or a pen, or in this case it worked out really well that I was able to use this recyclable and not in the trash mark that was on there, so I was able to spin it. It's time to torque these down. It calls in the manual to be 15 foot-pounds. So I'm going to take my foot-pound, I'm going to set her on 15. I'm going to start on this top one, and I'm going to do small little increments. There's one, so we got the top one torqued. Now we're going to go to the bottom one. There you go. Drain plugs are torqued. Okay, now it's time to add the oil. I like using this nice long funnel. I keep a rag in it to make sure it stays nice and clean. I want to make sure that no debris is inside of this. I do not want any of this into my motor, any dirt that is. Okay, so I'm going to start to add the first quart of oil to this, and I'm going to go slow. I'm not going to be in any big rush here. So I'm going to continue to add my oil till I get 5 quarts in, and then I'm going to stop. One other thing I forgot to tell you folks, before I start that bike and put that last half quart of oil in, I am going to wipe down my chrome because my greasy little paw prints have touched that chrome, and I go firing this thing up with any oils that are on there. It's going to discolor my pipes. Okay, so we're going to start it up as you can hear, and we're going to let this thing run for a few, just to get oil kind of moving around in it. Then we're going to recheck that oil. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but we still need to, oh dang, just dropped it on my foot. Still need to add that other half quart of oil. And look there now, she's right where she needs to be. So you're gonna put your dipstick back in. You're gonna tighten back up your dipstick with your little dipstick tool. Just farmer tight. Okay, you might say, Weasel, so how do we reset our engine oil life indicator? Well, I'm gonna show you. Okay, you're gonna turn your ignition on. I just have my screen down. You go to your little pull down right here. You're gonna pull that down. You're gonna hit your gear. You're gonna go through here. We're gonna go to vehicle. Engine oil service reset. Reset oil life. Yes. And voila. That is it. That's all it takes to do this. So there you have it, folks. That's how I changed the oil in Green Gertie. Remember, do me a favor. If you like this video, click like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and remember to always keep your feet on the pegs and your face in the wind.